Okay, let's talk about something that so many people struggle with when they're trying to manage their blood sugar. What if I told you there's this one tiny missing piece of the puzzle that could be silently keeping your numbers high, no matter how hard you're trying?
Does this sound familiar? I mean, you're eating right. You've got your routine down. You are doing everything you're supposed to do, but that fasting glucose number is just plain stubborn. Your A1C isn't moving. It is so frustrating. Well, it turns out you might be fighting a hidden battle you don't even know about.
And that's exactly what we're diving into today. The hidden culprits could be essential mineral deficiencies. And look, we're not talking about some trendy new supplement here. We're talking about the fundamental building blocks your body is practically screaming for.
All right, so first up is magnesium. I want you to think of this one as the great stabilizer. When it's missing, it can create all sorts of loud problems that we usually blame on something else entirely.
Just look at the difference here. On one side, you've got the telltale signs of a deficiency. You know, those annoying muscle cramps, maybe a twitching eyelid, restless legs at night, and of course, that high fasting glucose. But on the other side, when your levels are where they should be, we see much better insulin sensitivity and that smooth, stable energy that we are all looking for.
So what does this mean for your numbers, for your actual lab results? Well, for seniors who are moderately deficient, adding magnesium can lead to a 0.4% to 0.6% drop in their HbA1c in just a couple of months. Now that is a huge deal. That's a significant improvement that directly lowers the risk of long-term complications. And I love this because it shows how magnesium is basically fighting a war on two fronts for you. It doesn't just solve one problem. It helps bring down that stubborn morning fasting number by about 10 to 18 points, and it helps flatten out those damaging post-meal spikes by 15 to 25 points. It's literally working around the clock to keep you stable.
But its job doesn't stop there, not even close. Magnesium is so important for the very systems that diabetes puts under the most stress. It helps relax your arterial walls, which is great for blood pressure. It supports the protective coating around your nerves to fight off that tingling, and it helps your kidneys filter properly. It's a total system support mineral.
And this really brings it all back to real life, you know? It's not just about the numbers on a piece of paper. It's about how you feel. It's about waking up with those smoother fasting numbers for sure, but it's also about having the energy to actually live your life without those exhausting highs and lows.
Okay, let's move on to our second mineral, meet zinc. If magnesium is the stabilizer, you can think of zinc as the insulin enhancer. It's like the crucial partner that makes the insulin your body already has work way more effectively.
And again, check out this contrast. The signs of a zinc deficiency are things a lot of us just brush off. You know, a paper cut that takes forever to heal, maybe a little more hair in the brush than usual, or catching every single cold that goes around the office. But when you get your zinc levels right, the benefits are huge. Your pancreas can produce stronger insulin, inflammation calms down, and your nerves get some much-needed protection.
Now, here is a number that should really get your attention. When zinc levels are brought back to where they need to be, insulin sensitivity can improve by up to 25%. That means your cells get dramatically better at actually listening to insulin's signal to pull sugar out of your blood.
And that translates directly into better long-term control. Over a few weeks, people who correct a deficiency often see their HbA1c drop by a really meaningful 0.5% to 0.7%. This just goes to show you, zinc is not a minor player here. It is an absolute powerhouse for blood sugar management.
And that brings us to our third mineral for today, selenium. So if magnesium is our stabilizer and zinc is our enhancer, then selenium is the cellular protector. Its whole job is to act like a bodyguard for your cells, protecting them from the damage that high blood sugar can cause.
The symptoms of low selenium can feel kind of vague, right? Just feeling tired, having weak nails, maybe a bit of brain fog, but the benefits of getting enough are incredibly specific. Selenium acts like a shield for your insulin receptors. It helps tell your liver to calm down and not dump so much glucose overnight. And it fights that nasty oxidative stress that damages your cells.
So how does this protection actually show up in real life? Well, one of the biggest ways is by cutting down those damaging post-meal glucose spikes by as much as 20%. And that is absolutely critical for protecting your heart, your nerves, and your kidneys from that repeated shock of high sugar after a meal.
And by shielding those little insulin receptors on your cells, selenium lets them do their job properly. And the result of that? An improvement in insulin sensitivity of almost 18% in people who were deficient. It just makes your entire system run more smoothly.
Okay, so we've gone through the why for these three amazing minerals. Now, let's switch gears to the how. What can you actually do with all this information? Let's lay out a simple, actionable plan.
The best place to start is always with food, and here are some of the richest sources you can find. For magnesium, pumpkin seeds are fantastic. For zinc, oysters are an absolute powerhouse. And for selenium, you won't believe this, but just a single Brazil nut can pack a huge punch. Adding these to your diet is a great place to start. Now, before we even think about supplements, we have to talk about this word, bioavailability. All it means is how well your body can actually absorb and use a nutrient. See, it's not just about how much of a mineral is in the pill, it's about how much your body can get a hold of. And this is why the form of the mineral is so important.
So here's a smart, simple, three-step strategy. First, you want to pick a form that's highly bioavailable, something like magnesium glycinate or zinc bicolinate, which are much easier for your body to absorb. Second, you follow the general dosage guidelines, like around 300–400 milligrams a day for magnesium. And third, and this part is non-negotiable, you have to understand the precautions.
And this is so important. More is not always better. The safe upper limit for zinc is 40 milligrams a day, and for selenium, it's 400 micrograms. It's also really important to check with your doctor about your kidney function before starting a high-dose magnesium supplement, because your kidneys have to process it. Think of these as the safety rails to keep you protected.
So, to wrap all this up, the big takeaway here is that things like muscle cramps or slow healing or just being tired all the time, they might not be random. They could be signals. They could be your body asking for a little bit of help. The real question is, now that you know what to look for, are you ready to listen?